Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Chatroom with Max. Where's our audience? Come on, give us a round of applause now. Give us a round of
Now let me
applause.
just wonder.
Uh-uh.
I was wondering, how come our audience more?
Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to
Welcome
the
to the
show,
show.
everybody watching.
Yes, we are so glad you're joining us today. It's been a lovely, eventful week. We missed you last
Last
weekend.
week,
You know,
yes.
just some few people sent messages and were like, "Oh, what's going on? Are you people okay? Do you people need money? You know all those things."
Yes, we need money. For those of you asking if we need money, yes, we do. Send it.
Okay, okay,
We love you bringing your donations. Donation is godly.
okay. Once again, welcome to the show. You know, mind Samsung. You know when it has to do with money. Now, there's Samsung go talk.
Hey, you already
People
know.
know me now. You know, I like money. I like money.
No, he doesn't like money. He love money.
Yes, yes, I love money. Okay, so today we have a very, very interesting topic. In fact, today we're going to be shaking the foundations of family, of the family
Of the
system.
African family tables.
Yes, we're going to be shaking that foundation. In fact, that foundation is
Hey.
going to, oh my God,
It's a very strong foundation.
oh my God, it's going to shake everywhere. It's going to shake everywhere. Alexa, change basement light to blue, I beg. This light is too, it's entering my eye too much. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So, people, we have a special guest in the house today. She's going to be helping us to do justice to the show today. I'm going to allow Sam Soft the privilege to introduce her because she is our special guest. This is our first time on chat room. Now, if you're watching from wherever you're watching from, please and please and please let us know where you're watching from. Okay, let's know where you're watching from, your name, the location where you're watching from, and
Your
then
home address.
no, we don't need your home address. We don't need your home address. Yes, yes. And then, like we always do at the beginning of the show, please and please don't forget to like where you're watching this from. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to hit the notification tab so you know just when we're on. And lastly, don't forget to
share, 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 share. There is love in sharing and caring. Caring is loving. Loving is giving. Did you go down?
if I just Google sing sound of music, no, no, sing that music.
That is sound of music.
I've been sharing.
That is sound of music for you.
Waiting. Yes. So, greetings from Stanley. Stanley couldn't make it in today.
Yeah,
He's busy, but he'll be joining us next week.
Yep.
And we have a surprise topic for you. That would be the topic where we'll be bringing in control. In fact, we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But for today, the topic we're going to be talking about today is African parents. Why I never told my parents I love them. Why I never told my parents I love them. Yes. Now, let's begin with just, asking general questions. We have 10 people watching right now. 10 right now. That's good. Please share. We need to go up to 200 like we always do. Share, please. Now, you watching right now. Have you, while you were little growing up, can you remember telling your dad, Daddy, I love you, or Mommy, I love you, and then your mommy will hold you and your daddy will hold you and say,
they give you all.
I love you, child. I love you. Please, if that has happened to you, please, let's see it in the comment section, okay? And if it has never happened to you, like some people on this show right now talking,
let us also see it in the comment section.
Let us also see it in the comment section, okay? Very, very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be bringing in our special guest, and we're going to ask her the same question, and I'm sure she's going to answer us. Let me know if you can hear me clearly, because I don't know if you can hear me very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome all the way from Jos, Nigeria, Shana Edwards.
Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Shana, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is your first time, right?
Yeah, it's my first time, and I'm excited to be part of this show.
Wow, you're welcome. You're welcome.
We're also excited to have you.
Yes.
So you can be part of this great.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. We're speaking on your behalf.
God bless you. Yes. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're based, so people get to know you before we jump in?
Okay, my name is Chana Edwards Ejoga. I am a broadcast journalist. I work with the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. That's NIPS
Nips
Policy
Kuru.
TV. And it's like I always tell people this is the think tank of Nigeria. So where you see all policies, this is where it comes from. And then, but I'm into media, and I've done I'm into media, and I love talking about things like this, especially things that would build our society, that will build individuals, because right now we are in a phase in time that a lot is changing about human beings, who we were, our who are coming after us is not the way we grew up and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to be part of this chat and this discussion today. So that is the much you can know about me. I'm also into events. We handle
Oh,
corporate events and all. And I like talking on shows. So
nice,
glad to be here.
Nice.
nice. And you are here,
Welcome to chat room.
and you are here talking in chat room. Thank you for
Yes.
coming.
You're welcome.
All right. So don't forget to leave your offering and your tithe with us when you are leaving.
Exactly. I will give you my
Oh
account
God.
information and details.
People will say, when I say he like money now, those of you that support himself will say he doesn't. He's a lie, Minister Max is just joking. All right, let's take some comments
I like them.
before we begin. We have Chioma Precious in the house, everybody. Welcome to the show, Chioma. Welcome.
Welcome, Chioma.
Yes, we also have Healthy Jessie Chops in the house, everybody. She says, good evening,
Jessie.
sirs, from Abuja, Nigeria. Jessie Well
Chops.
watching from her sitting room.
Always watching from your sitting room.
Always, he's never in the
Where
kitchen.
else?
Exactly.
Kitchen?
I like the way
Would
she
you
always
prefer a
describe it.
bedroom?
When she's watching from
Shana, don't start what you cannot finish.
exactly.
Healthy Jessie Chops says,
She's coming for you.
Naka local government area of Benue State. Thief baby girl. Okay, we see you. Chidima Precious says, a very blessed day, sirs. Watching from Abuja, from Abia State, Nigeria. Nice. All the way from Abia State.
Happy.
Healthy Jesse Chop says, how? Now slap you won't collect. That's
See?
with regards to the love, telling your parents I love you and all that. Okay. We have okay, she also says, my daddy don't like money. Oh. That's you.
Really?
Okay. So
you
Samsung doesn't like
You
money.
got that wrong.
Oh, okay.
Bethan is in the house. Bethan.
Bethan.
Welcome, Bethan. Welcome. Yes. So the topic for today, as we stated, is African parents. Why I've never told my parents
I love you.
I love them.
yes.
I love you, Daddy.
Why I've never told my parents I love them. So as a child growing up, I know in an African home, it's a strange thing back in those days. I don't know if it's everywhere, but from the stance where I stand, it was a very, very strange
It
thing.
was a very, very uncomfortable thing too. Like if you say you like growing up in that atmosphere, you cannot say I love you, daddy, or I love you, mommy. It's kind of weird because we never hear them say that. So because you have not heard them say that, that's why it's uncomfortable.
Okay. If I don't stop himself now, he will now want to start giving you advice, and then we'll start closing prayer, and then we can now close.
Like
So let's ask our guest.
Guest in the building.
See, I want to say let's ask our host.
Yes, it almost look like it.
Okay, let's ask our guest.
Shana.
Yeah.
Growing up, was it a normal thing, or have you told your parents growing up, oh, mommy, I love you, daddy, I love
No,
you?
no. I never did that. I never even thought of saying I love you. I think, not that I think, it was probably because, growing up, I don't know what generation they call us. Is it Gen X or whatever? That growing up, our parents they didn't get to do any PDA, that's public display of affection, for us to see, to even emulate. So that was kind of strange. You dare not when you are called, you are to come like a soldier, ready to receive orders, to execute your orders, or to receive a punishment. So even when, so even when,
I know.
so even when there's an atmosphere of gratitude and love, like back then I remember my dad. My dad always loved music. And in his happy moments, he will always play music, and then we come and do a soul train. Everybody will come and do their steps and everything. But
Wow.
there had never been anything like saying, "Oh, daddy, I love you." It's just, "Thank you, daddy. Good morning, daddy. Good afternoon, daddy. Good evening, daddy. What do you want me to do?" And all
Yes.
that. But
No,
nonetheless, I
Don't
think
even
you even say daddy or
exactly.
mommy. I want sir, ma.
Yes, sir.
it
Yes,
was
sir.
more,
Yes,
thank you. It was more of a sir ma thing, not even daddy. So, and but nonetheless, my growing up, I knew, I think I could sense from my dad's and mom action that they love me or they love us, and then we also reciprocated by actions of love. So it wasn't something that was verbal. We can't love care. When you now say, "Daddy, I love you," they'll first of all ask you. I can imagine that my dad would ask me, "Where did you hear that? Where did you learn that from?"
who taught
Who
you
they'll
that?
begin to think whether you are being influenced by bad company.
Mm.
So you can't even think of that at the time. No way.
Okay, okay.
You
Thank
know,
you very much.
I picked something new from what you were saying about even daddy, even the level of I love you. That I love you self was even too like high. Even to say daddy self. We didn't even know how to say daddy back then.
Hmm.
We have to learn
It's
from
sir. You have to say sir, ma.
exactly. I was telling my elder sister have to teach us like, hey, you gotta be tell that call him daddy, call mommy. So that was like style, like a trend back then to say daddy and say mommy. It looks like a modern family. You call your father daddy because then back then before daddy, we used to say sir or papa or
Mm.
mama.
Yeah, be like say, yeah, your own generation was Gen A. Is that was
Papa
Gen A?
or mama.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that answer. So we have some comments coming in, right? Let's take some comments so we can carry the audience
That's
along.
right.
We see you, all of you that are just joining in. We see you. We see you. Thank you very much. Please and please don't forget to keep sharing, liking, commenting, and everything, and sending money.
Yep.
I would like money too.
Yes. Send
Yes.
your donations.
Yes. So Olusayo is in the house, everybody.
Olusayo, how are you?
Sayo says, hello, Mr. Megs. Great show. Keep the ball spinning. Sam Soft, thumbs up to all of you, to all you do.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
brother.
much,
Thank you,
Sayo.
brother.
Thank you very much. Healthy Jesse Chop says, that has never happened in my life, not even in my family, because my father, here, I love you. It means you are a bad child. Hmm. Dan Davis in the house. Welcome, Dan Davy. Jesse Chop says, you can call my father. He will first shout at you before hearing what you want to say.
Number that one.
For me,
This is your papa,
was a turn off for me. So that shout was a turn off for her.
eh?
Chama says, my late dad was my closest friend. So it was easy to tell him I love him, but it wasn't comfortable telling my mom. I only show her via action. Why?
Yes, tell us why.
Why?
Because we want to know
Yeah.
why you are comfortable telling your father I love you and
Mhm.
you're not comfortable telling your mother I love you. There must be something.
Yeah. Let's add a twist to this. For all of you that are just joining, right? The question of today is, have you ever told your parents growing up? Have you ever told your parents, Daddy, I love you? You hug. That's the twist. Hug your parents and say, I love you. And then they will hug you back and say, I love you too, my child. Has that ever happened to you? If yes, tell us how and why. And if no, tell us why and how. Yes. So let's keep going with the comments. Jesse Chop says, in our time, nothing like daddy or mom. We call them Baba or Mama.
See?
You won't learn.
You won't wait till lem. No, that one is a new gen.
Bethan says, my husband is from Barbados and he's not affectionable at all. Him and his grown kids don't say or show affection.
No.
He doesn't tell me he loves me. He shows me by giving me money.
You see,
that's a good way. That's a good one.
yes, but you know that person, that the husband must have experienced non-affection from his, you know what I'm saying? So he's passing it out. It's
Passing out what-
it's like continuous. He's not used to it.
Like a vicious circle. Yes, strange to me because I'm very affectionate. I'm very affectionate. Wow. Okay. We'll come back to
going
that.
there.
Yes. Temitope is in the house, everybody. Hi,
Hey.
Temitope. She's in Chioma says, my mom will suspect me if I say so. And flogging who taught you that will follow up. Okay. Nelson is in the house. He says, greetings, everyone. So, yes.
Now prison
Now,
yard,
prison yard.
Debbie.
So, for everybody watching
African
right now, for those of
African
you just
homes
joining
back
again,
then.
have you ever told your parents, I love you, daddy, I love you, mommy, and hug them and kiss them and say, I love you to them? Let us know in the comment section, okay?
But you know what? I'm thinking back then, you know what?
Mhm.
It's like you're living in a home like a remind home. You know how remind home is? You have to have-
Remind-
Really
remind-
remanded.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
you had everything structured. You had
Yeah.
everything laid out for you. You had to go to school, you come back, you eat, you
Yes.
do your homework, and
Yeah.
you had to go to play maybe for an hour, then you come back to watch Sesame Street for those of us that watched Sesame Street, like four. After
your
then,
home,
so everything
your
was
home
just
at least
well
doesn't see
regimented.
cartoons, Sesame Street, and all that stuff.
Okay. Let me talk. Let me
You
talk my
said?
own. Let me talk my own. Let me talk my own experience.
Yeah, tell us.
I know my father used to watch my show.
Mhm.
If you are watching right now, just say hi so that I can
Yes, so
confess.
what?
I know.
His father always watched this show, our show.
So if he's watching right now, I should say hi so I know the extent to which I
True.
confess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you
Because
you have the opportunity to defend yourself.
because I know now. My
Mhm.
mother will now say, I told you.
Let
Your
me
mama
defend mine. My dad was a cinematographer, so he had to work.
Okay, her network is. No, she's in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So those of you watching, yeah, it's Nigeria.
You know it's a Nigerian
So
factor.
we understand.
Network.
It's Nigerian network.
Yes. So let's
Are
be
you
talking.
back or you are poor?
She's-
So we didn't hear you. What
Okay,
did you say?
I said for me, let me defend my dad. My dad was a cinematographer, so that came naturally for him. He had to
Oh,
just watch cartoons,
Okay.
animations, and stuff.
he's an actor.
So for me, right, I can't remember saying, "Oh, I love you, daddy. I love you, mommy." Oh, no. If I even when they came to visit me in the US, even when they came to visit me in the US, I saw my
He's Safa.
welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
You're even extending handshake. Some people just bow, say, welcome, sir. They have to just bow. He who must be
Yeah,
obeyed.
He
you
has
know.
no mind him. He has
You
been
know.
Americanized.
What are you talking about? If I
That
was
is
if
it.
I was a Yoruba boy, if I was a Yoruba boy,
Yes,
I'll be
slap
lying
you,
down. I'll be
say,
lying down on the floor in the airport.
straight.
Is that
Exactly.
airport? Ah,
Airport small now. But go for phone. For
ah,
phone.
what the?
Now for phone.
Oh, no, make. How you doing? Sorry, are you still watching?
The papa
Uh-huh.
go come say,
Yes,
get up.
yes.
I can see
Uh,
no problem. The
mm.
phone go day up like
But
this.
yes, I can't remember doing that. I can't remember saying that. I believe so this is what I think, right? You can dispute that or you can counter that if you want. What I think is it was a generational thing.
Yeah,
It was a generational thing because they learned something like that from their parents. So some Africans, some Africans don't show affection in a certain way. They have a different way of showing affection. Me
yeah,
providing for you, me giving you what you want, me being there for you, me putting a roof over your head is
mm,
me telling you I love you.
yeah. Clothes over on your
What I'm
back.
thinking, is that
But that scarred a lot of people. It scarred a lot of young people today. And when I say it scarred a lot of young people is seeing these kind of things happening now. It's like, why?
but the thought of that action came from the fact that they want to um, make you feel they feel that you have to respect,
Yeah.
carries respect by not looking at
Comes
the
from a place
face.
of reverence.
Yeah, like they want you to learn.
Reverence.
Like if you don't respect, if you tend to like answer or don't answer, ask them question without them asking you to a question, that is disrespectful. So
Yeah.
it comes from that traditional aspect of you have to respect your father. So even to say anything to them is tough.
So they read disrespect. They I think again it's a generational thing because to them respect is me. My child comes, my child sits down, say hello, daddy. Say hello, sir. How are you doing, sir? Yes, sir. I'm fine, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. And then let me ask one more question. Have you ever played with your father and touched his head? I said,
Oh,
Daddy. Okay, you
for
wanted to
me,
Good.
let me come in if you won't mind. I want to say something based on the previous thing before this new question.
go ahead.
And like Samsung said, we were from a generation that believed that had a high level of morality, and that morality, and then we had back in the days in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, we had a lot of our parents that were in the military. So it kind of like replicated in the way they handled the home
Ah,
front. My grandfather was a policeman, and so my dad grew up under that strictness. So he kind of like imbibed it in us. I could never, till date, I could never be seated and I would see an elderly person or someone older than me, and then I'll still remain on my seat. I would stand up. I cannot now is now that I know, okay, I'm of age, that I can talk back to some people. Back then, airing your views is seen as being disrespectful. You can't talk back to your parents to even say, oh no, I have a different view. So whether they were right or wrong, you're just supposed to, like some sort of, you're supposed to just say yes sir, yes ma. And then even if you're going to talk about it, it's going to be maybe to your elder ones or to your uncles or some other family members that maybe you're closer to. That you can say, ah, mommy is like this. Or you talk about it among your friends. You dare not tell your dad or your mom, or you talk back and say, no, I think what you do, or I can't do this. Oh no. Like they'll give you default sorting, default setting knock, that will just make you go back to default settings. You're not supposed to talk back. Now, back to now back to the next question that you said. My dad, funny enough, was a very jovial person.
So your
And
parents
he
that's the
kept,
same.
back then, he had really full, thick hair. So he kept the afro. And my dad liked to be petted. So, yeah.
Oh,
So,
you're playing
my,
with your
my
father's
dad,
afro.
huh?
You're
You
playing with
play
your
with your
dad's
dad
afro.
afro.
Oh no, this was what he was, not that I would come and play with it, but when he comes back, he likes to be massaged. So he had someone massaging his legs, and then someone, touching his head. He would say, "Oh, there's a squirrel running around my hair in my hair. Just look for it." So as we are touching it, we'll now see maybe gray hair. He'll say, "Pluck it," we'll take it out and all that. And then actually, as a girl, I learned how to braid on my dad's head because he likes, me touching his hair and then he will slip off. Then at that time, I had the field of play to do whatever I wanted to do with his hair. But, it wasn't from the point of, oh, I want to play with my dad. It was an instruction, like I said earlier. You are called upon to, to receive instruction, to do some tasks, or, to receive punishment.
That means you are not in this category we are talking about.
No, she's not.
At all.
I
Because
think I think I'm somehow in between because
uh
I
you're
never
one
really
leg in,
said,
one
oh,
leg out.
daddy, daddy, daddy. I'm not a daddy, daddy. Oh, I never had the opportunity to like be that
For me,
jovial with my
I
dad.
know I've never ever. Okay, now, never ever have you ever touched your father by on
Uh,
the head.
you,
Raise your
you
hand. Say,
dare
I.
you, you dare you not.
You dare not. You dare not try it. You try it. The thunder
Whether by
strike.
joke.
But
Yeah.
come to speak of it.
Yeah.
Do you know that the advantage that we get from this discipline
Mhm.
is that we learn to be organized. Now, my
Yeah,
mind, we learn to be disciplined,
disciplined,
managing our lives.
Okay.
Now that we are taught,
courteous.
we have learned so much from that uh, discipline we got from our parents.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those are the advantage,
Okay.
So that part of respect, you cannot dispute the fact that
take
we
it away from us.
can't
True.
take it away from the African parents,
Okay.
and it's great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get us wrong. It's great, but we are only talking about the fact that it restrained you from so many things too, because
Yeah,
they were overdoing it. As a result of that, we become. I think it's out of fear that we cannot even say love. It's the fear because the discipline was so strong. It puts in
yeah,
fear.
yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
All right. Let me
Can
give
I?
comments. Let me take some comments.
Take
please.
some
Okay.
comments.
I want to go according to our audience so that they enjoy the show also. So let's keep going. We have okay, Olusayo says, well, growing up was more ancient, and I love you sounded weird to an old soldier who trained us in a corporal way. I remember Sayo Papa. Sayo Father.
Strong
Okay.
man,
Talk him. And he go land you, talk him and he go land you for that small guard room. Grinding.
Grinding room.
I remember that grinding room too. Max
Wow.
Moore, you know what I'm saying. Uh-huh.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
very true. I know what you're saying, my brother. Chama says the person won't die. Touching
Touching head care.
It doesn't even talk.
Your mother said that oracle. Nobody go.
Jesse Charles says, I think that that has created gap between the children and the parents, and the girl child we start looking for emotional shoulder outside.
Daddy issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has also made a lot of girls fall for bad guys.
True.
True. Sister, your father was a nice man.
Mhm.
Your father was cool. Me, your father was cool. Me, who knows that?
He's talking to
Yeah, she's talking to you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. My sister, you don't belong to our generation.
Like I said, it was based on
You play with
instruction.
my
Oh.
father's head.
Eh?
Okay.
Mine was
So-
based on instruction. I can't go on my own to say, oh, I want to touch your head. So it was like, come and do,
That is the same thing we're talking about, because your father give you that reception,
Mm.
give you that freedom. That is when you are free to say I love you. I'm free to say you want to touch, play with his hair, or free to say, hi daddy, how are you, daddy? You did how wait, how bite you.
How I bite?
How are we were?
I bite you. Akoboko plenty mouths.
More comments.
So Shana wanted to say something, but before you
Yeah.
say what you want to say, we're gonna go on a quick commercial break before we come back. Please and please keep your comments coming. Let's know, have you ever said I love you to your parents? I love you, daddy, I love you, mommy. And then you hug,
Daddy.
and then you're playing with your father and you're saying, oh daddy, look at your Let us know if you've ever done that. Yes, tell us how. No, tell us how. All right, let's go.
Hi, so glad you are here with us today in Chat Room with Mex. I am Kay and I hope you are having fun. Please subscribe, like, and lastly share. We need to let the world know what we are enjoying here today in the chat room. Now let's go back to the show.
All right, so welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yes. So if you have not like where you're watching this, start liking it now. If you have not subscribed, Ungwan, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Hit the notification tab so you know just when we come on. And lastly, share.
There's love in sharing. There's love.
Don't start again. Just stop.
Sound of music.
And the reason why parents don't go talk, say, I love you.
Give them the opportunity.
They'll just begin to talk. After I love you, they'll not say I hate you. You see? People will see. That's why. So, so now, would you parent your children a different way than how you were brought up? Now,
That's a very good question.
If you're a parent here and you know that I love you thing did not work for you, can you please tell us why, please? Not just young parent who parent that your child is already 25 to 30 years old.
But do you know that even the new parents, some of them don't even know how to say I love you to some of them?
That's the damage. That's the damage that you spoke about earlier.
Yes.
We don't know how to express love. We feel it's a sign of weakness. I was a friend to someone for a short while, and I just noticed he never did anything romantic to me. And I'm like, okay, why don't you do this? He was like, really? It was so strange to him. And mind you, this is someone that has traveled the world who is exposed. But so this is the scarring. This is the area of scarring that Sam Soft was talking about. It has affected our mindset that when we see other people doing it, we think it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
We think it's a sign of not being well trained. We see that someone is just talking anyhow. We see it, okay, that the person They whine me, I've been waiting. We don't take it seriously. So, but again, as we have grown, sorry, let me delve into the question that you just asked. But then, as we have grown, we have come to realize that these things are necessary because at some point you would sense that, oh, you're lacking something, you're really lacking love. And some of us, because we don't really know, okay, where the sources of this trauma is coming from, we begin to seek it from wrong sources. We begin to, some become over attached, some become very clingy, some become domineering, some become obsessed. So these are the traumas that it leads some of us into. And therefore some of us that knows, okay, we need to work in love, we begin to, find little ways, we begin to seek it in, ways that we think, okay, it's right, even if it is wrong.
The after effects, huh?
After effect. Well, so let's take these comments real quick. Mecca is everybody. Welcome, bro. It's been a while. Yeah. You remember Mecca now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mecca has been with us from
Yeah. Oh God, this comment is so unfortunate. Sorry.
He says, I remember my mom giving me a hot slap. Or just killing
So
mosquito on her leg.
Oh God. Or maybe you startled her. I don't think she would just slap you.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
Maybe he startled her now and she didn't know.
Slap like that.
No, it's the mosquito.
I start with mommy.
Blame it on the mosquito.
I start with mommy.
Blame it on the mosquito. The mosquito don't anywhere else to land. Now laugh, you go land.
No, I start with mommy. How can you slap?
He was being helpful.
Which kind?
He was being helpful. No, kill mosquito.
You won't kill mommy.
Don't do like this.
You know.
It's just that the people. You get lost.
But you know the implicating part is if after hitting her leg and then he didn't kill the mosquito.
Hey!
Wait, Emeka, you killed the mosquito.
Hey, we need to.
You killed the mosquito.
We want to even know, did you kill the mosquito, Emeka?
But at the end of the day, if you don't kill that mosquito, that's slap.
That was the reason for the slap then. That was the reason for the slap.
That was funny.
See, so he's going to answer that question. Jesse Chop says, same thing happened to me because I was not brought up like that. Anytime my kids tells me, Mom, I love you, I just look at them like you are trying to manipulate me.
You didn't whine me.
What do you want?
So guess what? Well, guess what? With that statement, that means are we learning?
Well, we'll come to that.
You see?
She says, I hope the lines will be open soon for calls.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, we'll open the lines.
We'll open it.
Yeah, we'll open it soon. Yeah. Rebecca says, I never said I love you to my mom. Neither has she. But coming to America, she saw a different setting in my home. And now she is saying I love you. And
that's the learning.
That's where the learning comes in. You see? You learn, you see something new that is good, you learn.
And you emulate, you adjust, you adapt.
That's good.
So initially, the topic I wanted to make this particular discussion was African parents' trauma. Why I've never said I love you to my parents. Because the fact is this, whether we like it or not, it was a trauma that was passed down. I call it generational trauma because our parents were traumatized by their parents, so and then they passed that now to us.
And it
now
kept going.
It's still going. So you have to unlearn
to relearn.
CBT. That's what CBT is.
So you take
away the negative and replace it with a positive. So you have to offload, repress, push back the former one at the past one, and then bring up the good one. Because a lot of people have learned so many negative things from our parents because that was the way our parents were brought up. So we cannot really fault our parents for that because that was all they knew.
But let me ask you something, because if you accept it, that's why you allow it to continue. If you don't like it, you won't continue.
It's not about acceptance or not liking or liking.
It's about programming.
It's about programming. It's about
it's inbuilt.
During your time. But now during, it doesn't matter. You listen, how many things that we don't like, we end up doing them, even though we don't like them, because the society sees it as normal.
Good.
That is
now. Can I come in now? I want to deviate just a bit.
I see you.
When we talk about programming, It's things that have happened over time. Because there's a repetition, it becomes imbibed, like stamped on our in our minds.
Mhm.
Now, when we look at this programming,
Mhm.
this is what has affected relationships,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not.
Oh
This
yeah.
programming has affected relationships by and large.
Mhm.
And one thing a lot of people don't know is you are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for that CBD, that reprogramming. You are
Yes.
responsible to unlearn some things for yourself, to relearn. Nobody will do it for you. And I think most times people don't realize that they're responsible for themselves when it comes to that aspect of trauma.
Without due respect, I do not agree 100% with that, because you only know you have a problem when you know you
Mm.
have a problem. If you don't know you have a problem, it's a normal. You would not have the need to change anything.
So,
Yeah,
okay,
but you are the one that can make that change.
I want to ask Minister Maxi, okay, how do you know it's a problem?
Okay, very good. Before I answer that question,
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only. What in the what is it?
Is it
You see why parents? I don't blame them. I can never blame them.
Yeah. You look at your head.
You say I love you, the guy say I hate you.
Look at your head.
I never introduce you. Want to introduce finish?
You see parent. You see the parent that is traumatizing.
Don't mind all these children. They like to jump ahead of their parents.
Parents with traumatizing children.
Is it traumatizing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only, Dr. Tolu.
Hi everyone. Awesome.
Hi.
That's what
Wow.
you do.
Wow,
Why
Dr.
you do
T.
sit
Wow,
like
Dr.
this?
T. Oh my God. Oh my.
Sam Sauce. I miss you guys.
I miss you. Dr.
How you guys
T.
doing?
We're good. We're fine.
Is
Yes.
Minister Mex behaving?
At all. Don't you see what he was trying to do?
I cannot behave. Why should I behave? If I behave, will that be show?
behaving at all.
There will not be any show.
I can't even turn my back for 5 minutes. It's okay. We love Jesus.
Dr. T. Now me hold that button, no. Now me hold that button.
No, stop it. You can't threaten me.
Now me hold that
Stop
button.
it.
I know that Dr. Tolu stop
He said stop
it.
Stop it. Hey sis, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Tolu. My name is Chana.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Miss Chana. Have these gentlemen have they been good to you? Have they been nice?
Oh, very, very good. Very, very good. You know, it's
Awesome.
it's been lovely. Yeah.
Only that she didn't have the opportunity to get some tea from
Huh?
us. We always offer tea. Tea and coffee.
We're offering nothing. We're
Nothing.
talking about
As you
parental
can
trauma.
see, I have my Nigerian teacup here. So
There
you cannot
we
intimidate me.
They talk, never go take lights.
Because
They
this is
talk.
like-
Yeah.
They talk. Never go take lights. Maybe so just sit and
Bad
talk.
fella.
Don't carry lights.
See my cup of tea. This is a mug. Not that one that you're holding. Is it a
Dr.
what?
T.
I don't even know. A cylinder cup or what? I don't even know.
Mhm.
Dr. T,
Yes, sir.
welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you. It's been a while, Doctor.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
We'll catch up after the show.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll catch up after the show. Your hair is looking born again.
And the
Why,
glass
thank
is looking
It's a
good.
Sunday. What can I say?
We like this glass. You've not worn it to the show before.
At all.
Hey, what?
I would like
Hey, you guys, you didn't compliment my look. Oh, what's
Don't
that?
mind them.
Yeah.
What's that?
You've already spoiled the whole thing by saying you were making your father's hair.
Exactly.
We did not touch our father's head.
Why are you jealous? Why is it? Did they pay you?
Yes,
Did they pay you?
yes.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh, doctor.
goodness. Y'all are riots.
That's the point.
They're riots.
That's the point. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So, Doc, we were talking about African parenting. We asked people if they've ever said "I love you" to their parents?
Mm.
You know, hugging, "I love you, daddy, I love you, mommy," touching the father's head.
Yeah. I'm waiting for doctor's response. Oh, yeah.
Shana
Yeah?
answered, she agreed to just one. She said she has
Exactly.
made the father's hair that she used to remove rat. No,
White hair. We should be
Okay.
rabbit.
no, she said the father will say that there's an animal on the head. And
Yeah.
That's too
Yeah.
soft to look at the.
you see, they pay attention. She used
I'm
to remove
soft.
animals.
You know, say rabbit.
Don't hold my hand though.
Rat, rabbit, elephant, it doesn't matter. It's animal. So we used to remove something, Sha,
Okay, but not be
Okay.
nice.
from the
And then
father.
in the process, I can't learn how to braid hair
And
because
she
he
was
had
braiding
afro.
her father's hair. Hey!
Abomination.
Me
Only
touch
if
my
he's
father hair.
asleep, oh. Only when he's asleep. If he's not asleep yet,
My
Wait,
father cannot even sleep and
wait.
you will touch his hand, he
So
will not
when he
wake up.
wakes up and see that he looks like a woman, what happened?
Oh,
no, I losing it. I lose
Oh,
it quickly.
how far
Ah,
now?
Trial by error.
so you were
stealth
teasing your father.
moves.
You
I
were teasing
like.
your father. Okay. That's fine. So a lot of people, a lot of people said no.
Mm-hmm.
It has never happened. Uh, Shana made an interesting point, and she said, back in those days, some majority of our parents were in the military or had fought one or two battles or war, and they
Mm-hmm.
had that mentality, you know.
That their homes are
Yes,
at war.
yes, and now we also established a point that
Mm-hmm.
this has gone further to scar us down the line
Okay.
because you can't give what you don't know or what you don't have.
True.
Unfortunately, you
Mm-hmm.
can't. You know, so that has gone down the line to scar us. Now, we had a comment from Jacinta who said, same thing happened to me because I was brought up like that. Anytime my kids tell me, Mom, I love you, I just look at them like you are manipulating me or trying to manipulate me.
Mm.
So what do you
Say
want?
they want me.
Telling me I love you, they whine me. What do you want? You know? So let's take these few comments and then we'll now hear your point because I know definitely
You're
you
downloading it.
yes. So Emeka says, okay, I've read this one. He says, I did kill the mosquito. Hey, I didn't tell you what.
I'm like, okay.
So even
Let's
with
have
killing it, you still got a slap on top.
I
Oh God.
remember my mom giving me a hot slap for just killing mosquito on her leg. He
Oh.
helped her to kill mosquito, and then she was and bye.
Emeka hand was like a military hand.
That's what Sam
Yeah,
said.
I want to believe it was the way he killed the
Mommy
mosquito, not
start.
that.
You want to kill
Not
mommy?
because he touched her leg.
He was trying to save her
This
from the
guy try.
mosquito bite.
Mommy say
for
Now we asked
for
him.
him to have a reaction of a slap, it wasn't. It was
We
something
asked him the
very.
question. We asked him. We hope he ended up killing that mosquito. If not,
exactly.
He said yes.
and he now responded. He said, "I did kill the mosquito. I say I love you to my kids, and
Mm.
my kids say the same in return. I never let my African parenting style affect
Affect
me."
me. Good
Perfect.
job.
Yes. Had your eyes in the house. She said, "Hi, Next4. It's been a while. How you doing? Da, da, da. I'm good. I'm good. You?" Healthy Jesse Chow says, "Welcome, Queen Mother. I missed you. I missed you, man.
Hey, Queen
How
J.
have you been?" Yes. So, Doc, now tell us your opinion, your input on this particular topic.
Okay. All right. Very interesting topic as usual. So here's the thing. Many people are parents' generation because they were not brought up all touchy, huggy, feely and not the same. They believed in showing you that I loved you instead of telling you
Saying it.
that I loved you. So my mom was not even on that radar screen. My mom had to be one of the most sacrificial mothers, like most Nigerian mothers, right? She was super sacrificial, loving, sweet, wonderful, and very strict. She was an elementary school teacher. You know, the old school that don't do
Oh
foolishness.
yeah.
Yeah. She
Mm.
was very loving. She just never verbalized that I love you, right?
Mm.
Now, my dad went a step further. I can just still see my mom rolling her eyes because he was the one who would say, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, I like the way you do that. That was very smart of you. Do that again."
Right.
So
Mm.
he gave a lot of compliments, but never quite, "I love you." Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but even in the giving of compliments, I realized that he was not like the typical African dad. He was not like the typical Nigerian dad. He would give me compliments like, "Oh, you're so smart. That is wonderful. Oh, this hair looks beautiful. I hope it didn't hurt. Hmm? Did it make you cry?"
Oh.
You know, all those
Ah.
exactly. Now,
You are not in our generation. You
imagine,
don't experience
imagine,
our
my mom is standing there like, this person is about to spoil this child for me. What is
Mm.
this? But he had a strategy. And I remember we had this conversation when we were talking about raising children. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like 2 or 3 years
Mm-hmm.
ago,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
such that by the time I hit puberty, boys were not a novelty for me because I
yeah.
was used to male attention. So for me, when somebody comes and they're like, "I love you," I'm like, and because someone tells you, oh, you're very beautiful, thank you, and
Mm.
because it was not a thing. But now, guess what? Fast forward, my mom had passed away. My dad had, moved on in years, and I live here now. And so when I call him after our conversation, I would say, "I love you, Daddy," and then there will be silence
Oh,
because he truly didn't
doesn't know.
how to respond to that.
Mm.
So, but I kept at it, and then finally one day, after I don't know how many months, after our conversation, it was a Saturday thing. I'd call in the morning, by which time it's Saturday noon, like afternoon in Nigeria.
Mm.
And after the conversation, I'd say, "Daddy, I love you." And then one day he said, "Thank you."
Oh, that's his style.
Oh,
That's
That
his style.
was the best he could
you
do,
could
and
say.
I took it. I'm like, we brought the man thus far. We started with silence. Thus far the Lord has brought us. Now he's on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did till he passed away. Because
Mm-hmm.
that was him stretching himself.
Yeah.
Because that was not how he was raised, most definitely not.
Yes.
So you remember what you said one time, that you cannot give what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if a person is not used to lovey-dovey, touchy-feely kind of thing, now never mind that soon after I left secondary school and I went to uni, like whenever I would come home, I would greet him in the traditional Yoruba way. I'll kneel down and greet him and then promptly jump up and hug him.
Oh.
Mm.
And he used to look at me just a little funny.
You are totally not in our gang at all. You at least
Like this
you had a
child,
breakout. You
you
had
know,
a breakout.
child. And that's the funny thing. None of my other siblings were like that with him.
Oh.
I was the only one that was like that. Till he passed away, I was the only one who was like that. So after a while, I think he just sort of resigned. Like, this one has come. There's nothing we can do. Let's
Mhm.
shall continue like this. You see, so I can see why people would say that African parents don't express affection. For them, it's love is a utilitarian thing. What can you this love that I have for you? How will I show it? I
It's
buy
more
you.
like it's
I
more
buy
like transactional.
you. Do you get? I buy you food. I buy you clothes. You'd better be sure that I love you. End of story. What
You
else you
best
want from
believe
me?
it that I love you.
You get, but they never actually get to the point where they tell a person that I love you. Now, fast forward, my son is about 15 now.
Mhm.
He's the one that I'll just hug him for no reason. My husband is a very touchy-feely person too. He'll hug for no reason. He's passing by, he'll rub your shoulders or say something, or just randomly just come and whisper in your ears, "I love you."
Oh,
Because I realized that his family was different.
oh,
And he's
that's
my
Nigeria
generation,
way.
so there are people like that. His family was different. They would just randomly be telling each other, "I love you." I used to look at them like,
Are they whining each other?
I see, what kind of Nigerians are these ones? But you said that thing about, I think it was Jacinta's comment about her kids saying "I love you" and she feeling somehow about it. Like, are you trying to manipulate me?
Yeah.
I once spoke to an auntie, a very, very Nigerian, very Yoruba auntie, and it was at a party. So I went to sit beside her, and I was just like, just rubbing up against her, and she was like, "What do you want?" Just like
Uh-huh,
that.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you
Just
want to. Mhm.
just like that. She's like, "What do you?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just came to hang out with you." She still looked at me funny, like,
You're always suspicious of something.
We'll see
Oh,
about
we're
this
not
hanging
good
out."
for it. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really deeply baked into our culture
Yeah.
that, and it bothers me. Part of it bothers me because words are supposed to carry weight. It seems to me that it's as if we don't have that kind of respect for words. Oh,
Anymore, yeah.
I'll let my actions show you what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But this word, if you say "I love you," I don't know what it means. Like, it doesn't carry any weight with me, and it just seems wrong somehow. But that's my take on it.
If you ask me, I think love did, words did carry weight to them.
Hmm.
And that is why they viewed that word as a word that is very strange, that should not come from their children.
Hmm.
Think about it.
I think they believe
No,
that.
wait first. I come. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Hmm.
If my wife will tell me I love you and we'll go have sex because we love each other, that's what I love was. That
Thing
love
to carry, yeah.
between husband and wife.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
That was the strength of that word.
Okay.
So now for the children to come and be shouting, "I love you, daddy, I love you, mommy," is kind of weird.
You know, I told you that if they should hear, I know that if my dad would have heard me saying I love you to him, he would first of all ask me, where did you hear that? Because he would think, oh, I don't they learn bad thing.
Yeah.
He would
Mm,
definitely think, oh, where
mm.
did you hear this? Where
Let me
so
let
Doctor
me
said
pop
something.
something. Let me pop something in there. You know the word love, the English word love. One of the reasons I have problems with the English language. There are many words. If you go to
Mm,
Greek, there are many words that all of them together we put in the English language as love. What
mhm,
you're describing, the love between a man and a woman, sexual love, is eros.
errors.
But in English, it is still love.
They love
mm,
Mm,
Love between family members, like between brothers,
mhm.
filios. It
Filios
is still translated
as love.
love,
that's love in
like
English.
filial love, from which our
Mhm.
city, Philadelphia, comes from. And
Mm.
then there's Sturgis, which is love between friends. How like David and Jonathan had that
Mm.
deep,
Yeah.
very
Studies,
covenant.
Abby. Which one is that one again?
Sturgis, yes.
Mm.
I studied you.
I still this too.
Sturgis.
But you see,
God
all
bless
of
you,
them
sir.
is
God
bound
bless
up in
So
that ball
Jesus.
of
One
wax
word, love, yeah.
called love. So to our parents, like you said, now that makes sense. To our
Mm.
parents, they hear love, they hear eros.
Mm.
They don't hear filios, they don't hear sturges, they don't hear any other
So
thing.
that's
Just
true. That's true. That's true. That's
which is
true.
why your dad would have been scandalized.
Oh
you. Yeah.
yeah.
You told him that you loved him because he would have been like,
Mm.
Yeah. So
Oh
love.
wait. I got a point from that right now. You know that the parents be that's why they are suspicious. Like when you use the
Yeah.
word love, they're like, wait a minute, which guy is telling you I love you all the time?
mm-hmm,
Uh-huh. Where
mm-hmm.
did you they'll
Where
say
did
where
you
did
learn that word
where did
from?
you learn that word from?
You can
Yes,
get a whooping for that.
Of
yes.
course.
Now it makes sense.
Coming back to
Can I
what
tell
you
you something? Can I also drop something in there? When he said you can get a whooping for that. I remember this was so innocent of me, but I remember because that thing hurt me and I was like, what did I do? I
Which boy?
remember my dad came back. I was playing with my neighbor's kids, we're playing,
She
and he
wanted.
came back. And when my dad came back, he was so tired.
uh,
And I just looked at my dad and I smiled. I wanted to greet him. My dad got so furious.
Yeah, you were
He
laughing
said,
at
You
him.
are laughing. He
You
said,
were
You're
laughing
laughing
at
at
him.
me.
Why would you laugh at your tired father?
I'm telling you. And right there in front of my friends, he said I should pick pins. Oh God.
Yeah, you can't laugh at your tired father.
Outside. Ah.
ah, very
Wow.
suspicious. There's a point that there's from your comment, doctor, when you says, is it your father that said this woman is trying to spoil this child?
Yeah, my
Mm.
mom.
The
Yeah,
mother said.
mother said this man is
Man
trying
said.
to spoil this child. You see,
Mhm.
when they feel like weakness, it's a weakness when you say I
When
love
you
you,
show love,
when you
yes.
say love.
Vulnerability.
So they're like, oh yeah, oh he's trying to spoil the child. So as a result of that, I will not say I love you. I don't want to spoil you. That's another point too.
Yes, my mom was a very strict
Okay.
disciplinarian. Yes, she was. Yeah, because
So
like
now,
trying to balance all this mushy stuff, that
Mm.
she felt coming from my dad. Yes, that makes total sense.
So
so
can I
now,
say something? Is in the form of question now.
Hmm.
Now it seems we are.
you
It
know, you
seems
never, you
we.
never see, you never see guests wake on the anchor your show for you.
That the two of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Continue.
They have
I just wanted
stolen.
to say something.
Minister
Yeah.
Max,
I
really?
noticed. I noticed that nowadays,
Yes.
we are like the bridge between the past generation and the new.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I've noticed also that a lot of these young parents are losing it because okay, they don't want to bring up their children the way they were brought up.
Mm,
Then it's as if it's just two extremes. They
yeah.
came from a very strict background, and now they are being so liberal with their children, and it's so obvious.
Mm.
You know,
Mm,
you actually, I was actually going to go to that. I was
mm,
going to go to that because that point is very, very, it's something I've been talking about on TikTok. For those of you that know me, I'm a great TikToker.
I didn't know that part.
That's because you're not on TikTok. You just joined.
Now you do.
You just joined. Now you know. When you say TikTok, you talk about us.
mm,
Now, on TikTok, you have a lot of people, a lot of young generations. You
mhm,
have a lot of people that, young parents, and you hear people like what you just said. I always tell them when you try to correct something You have to be careful in what you're correcting, what you're trying to change. Else, you tip the scale 100%. So the scale was this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parents never said I love you to children,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Now they were doing
Now
it.
you're trying to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
You tip, 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 tip. You
Until
didn't
you come
stop.
to a balance.
Going.
You came and continued to go, and then now it's this way. Now, what I mean to your statement, Shana, yeah, is this: a parent, young parent, have a child, and they want to show the child all the love that their parents never showed them.
Uh-huh.
So they try to remove
Mm.
that whole
The
strictness, that
discipline.
structure your parents taught you.
Mm.
You remove the discipline, you strip that discipline off your head, of the
Mm.
training.
Mm.
You strip the whole, oh, you cannot say I love you to your parents off your head. And then you now allow a free flow
Mm.
without structure. Now,
Without
yes, you're telling
boundaries,
your
yeah.
child without boundaries, you're telling your child, feel free to talk to me. I'm your mother, I'm your father. I love you. You are my all and all. You can tell me you love me. Your child is telling you they love you, but you are not letting your child know that even with the love that
Mm.
I love you, I will still discipline you if you
Exactly.
mess up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the child now begins to overstep.
Mm.
And when that child begins to overstep and becomes a menace to the society,
It become a problem.
you begin to wonder where that mistake came from. That's because
Mm.
you tried correcting something to introduce something to your child and you
Mhm.
overdid it.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
now at this point, where and how do we strike a balance?
Mm.
Because it's very important that we know how to strike a balance.
Yes.
Yes,
True.
that is a
Very true.
fantastic question, and I'm so glad you all brought it up. Like, yeah, was it yesterday? I'm part of a Facebook group of moms, and just a huge group, right? And someone had posted a question like, "What do you do with a 2-year old who insists on having their way, whether it's with
Hmm.
food or clothing
Hey.
or some
Hmm.
other thing, right?" And
Mhm.
many of the responses were
Leave
like,
it to him.
my 3-year-old, they insist on wearing flip-flops, to church. They said that's what they were going to wear and nobody could make them change it. Just all interesting,
Oluwa o.
all very interesting responses. And at the risk of ruffling a few feathers, this is what I said to them. By the time a child starts crawling, they can understand the word no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
is where
From
you
the
begin
tone of
this.
your voice and from your look.
Yes, that is when you begin discipline. By the time a child is 3 years old, they have made up their mind whether you are to be listened to
Mm.
Mm.
or
Yeah,
not.
you said it the other time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? By the
Yep,
time
I
they're
remember.
3, they've made up their mind whether you are to be listened to or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a second tier. Maybe by the time you yell their name 3 or 4 times, then they will answer you,
Mm.
but not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
See, what a lot of people don't realize is people want to start instilling discipline when a child is 3 or 4.
Hmm.
Moyeni
Finish.
has walked into the market unclad. And Yoruba people understand what I just said. The cow is already out of the pen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what you want to
The
do
animal has
is
left the hair.
it's what you want to
Because
do
the
is
man crawled out.
begin to establish discipline. Let them know. I tell some of my friends that I have a principal voice and I have a princess voice.
Mm.
Let your child, by the time they start crawling, let them recognize the principal voice.
Mm.
Mm.
When
Mhm.
you call them a certain way, they're to stop whatever they're doing and look at you.
Yep.
Like, okay, am I still following in line? So
Yes.
that, but that's why I don't understand when a person says, well, my 3-year-old threw my phone into the bathroom twice.
Hmm.
Hey.
Like, what
Oluwa
was
o.
your 3-year-old doing with your phone
Your
in the
phone
first
in the first
place?
place.
Yeah.
And it goes to what you're saying about it's called overcompensating. My
Mm-hmm.
parents
Yes.
were super strict. They didn't let me breathe. Now I have this child. I'm just gonna remove all the stuff,
Mm.
Do
remove the
not suffocate
fence,
them.
Mm.
remove the grass, and let the child just roam free like a forest.
Mm.
And then you wonder when they're 3, you can't get them to do anything.
Yeah.
What you want is by the time they start crawling, let them know this is my stuff. This is your stuff.
You can go.
Do
Mhm.
not
Mm-hmm.
touch
Yeah.
my stuff. You
Yep.
touch my stuff at your own peril.
Within a
And
boundary.
then you apportion punishment that doesn't destroy their souls.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
it's
For
not
their
too heavy in
self-esteem.
their
Yeah.
spirit, but they realize this person can make things very unpleasant for me if I do not obey them.
Mm.
Mm.
See, the concept of parental obedience seems to be a horrible thing these days. People are like, oh, I don't want my
And I
child
don't know why. They make
really.
it look as if it's an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
No. The
Mm-hmm.
same people turn around and complain when their 4-year-old will not eat. Now, there's a caveat with eating. And I'll tell you why I'm not very gung ho about children not eating, and I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm. It's normal.
A lot of women these days, before we get pregnant, we don't prepare our bodies to conceive.
Hmm.
The bacteria in the intestine that helps you digest food, a child gets it from the mother
Yep.
on its way out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if the mother does not have enough,
The child cannot have it.
guess who will not have enough?
The child.
These are the children. If you do not help them develop probiotics when they're like itty bitty, very little, they are the ones who cannot bear fiber. And they're the
True.
ones who become picky eaters because
Yep.
Hmm.
they do not have the probiotics in their intestines to help them digest food.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
guess what?
True.
In the olden days, our mothers, without knowing the science of it,
Yeah.
would ensure that young girls, by the time they hit puberty,
Yeah, we eat well,
True.
well.
they begin to prepare their bodies
Bodies. Yeah.
so that by the time they
True.
do get married, their gut flora is up to par and they give birth to healthy children. Are you not?
Yeah.
Do you not find it weird
Effortlessly.
that it's our generation that begins to talk about picky eaters
Yeah.
Hmm.
because we
It's
don't
true.
eat enough healthy
It
food.
was never back in the day.
Yes, exactly.
Eating
What is
vegetable,
why?
eating vegetable.
So when we now give birth to these children, their bodies can bear fiber. They don't want anything with color. They are the ones who only want to eat chicken
Yeah.
nuggets
Mm-hmm.
and bread and butter and pasta and spaghetti,
Cereal.
all that stuff. Sometimes it's not because they're being naughty. It's because the thing bothers them on the inside. There are protocols where you can use to turn this around, but you've got to be dedicated. I had to do that with my son. By the time he was 2, he'd be like, oh, this thing hurts my tummy and that one hurts my tummy. After a while, I said, this child is not lying about this. So I went to
Hmm.
study about it and I realized that's what it was. And I actually went and did that protocol with him. And poof, I'm telling you, now the boy, he's built like a Mack truck. The boy can eat anything. But I,
Mm,
so I have empathy for parents who have kids who are
yeah.
picky eaters. That's a separate situation
Yeah.
aside from discipline. So that's why I
Hmm.
put that caveat out there that when it comes to food, there's a science behind picky eaters and they can
Yeah.
be helped. But
And moreover,
yes, yes.
talking about food,
Mhm,
there are children, in fact, children from the age of 2.5, 3 upward,
mhm.
preschool, they would not want to sit down and eat like normal. They want to either be eating and
They'll be
running
walking around.
or be,
Grazing.
eating just handheld things they can just easily hold and just be biting.
Yeah.
That's normal. But back to the issue of overcompensation.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. Like our son, for example, right? He does this thing where if he finishes drinking water and there's still water in the cup, he'll take one of his alphabets and he'll throw it inside the water to
All
play
right
with
then.
it, let it swim. First time he did it, we looked at him and we're like, don't do that again. Second time he will come close because he knows the serious boy. He'll come close, he'll look at you,
Mhm.
and then he'll want to put it inside. You say no. He'll say yes. He, he, he'll say no. He will say
Looking
yes.
for
And then,
validation.
yeah. And then he goes back and drops that thing.
Mm.
But now, if I was like, oh, my parents never,
Yeah, let me do
gave me freedom.
Throw
My
it
dad did this.
inside.
I would just, oh,
Throw
please.
everything inside.
Just they throw, they go.
I'm drinking along.
So I understand the need. I understand the need
Mhm.
for us to correct the mistakes our parents made.
Yes.
I understand it. But let's be careful in correcting that mistake because if you actually want to tell, look at yourself very well. Take yourself as an example. Take yourself as an example. How did you turn out to be?
Exactly. Did he came out good?
How did you turn out to be? To be
Mhm.
honest with you, I'll tell you one thing for a fact.
It was
If
good.
it's not because of the kind of way my parents raised me,
Exactly.
I would have been worse. Unfortunately, I would have been worse. Because I noticed that my parents did not raise all of us. I have 4 other siblings. They didn't raise all of us the same way.
Mhm.
We were
True.
raised differently.
Differently, according to our characters,
Our
our
personalities.
Yes.
So you have to study your children, study them, and raise them based on their personalities.
Correct.
By the time you begin to raise your children together cohesively as one unit, the
Oh, there's
same
gonna be
thing
peace. There's
goes
gonna be
for
problem.
everybody, then there will be problems.
You
Because
miss,
you're
you
going to have
lose
the
them.
quiet one, you are going to have the stubborn one, of course, which I was. You, you know,
Confessions.
yeah, so,
Say that again,
doctor,
doctor.
we didn't hear you.
Confessions.
Equals to confession.
You know, stubborn.
Who
You don't even chop
who
that
is
time, sef.
confessing?
You don't even chop that time. Your neck
Who
was
is
long like that.
confessing?
You don't even chop.
Is
You were
it-
the picky eater.
Who is making
You were the
confession?
picky eater.
You
You don't
are,
want chop
you are
beans.
speaking.
Na gari gari.
Finally, we see where the problem started
Na
from.
gari gari
It
gari.
was
Now,
But
somebody-
Gary is a good
you like
food.
to drink
Gary
gari?
is a good food.
You say?
Gary is a good food now. You know, you dey say Gary, Gary. Gary no be food.
It depends on what you eat the Gary with.
Thank you,
Well,
doctor.
Gary.
Thank you, doctor. So someone just drinking gari
I'm
gari gari
eating
gari gari
Gary
gari.
with beans.
Which means you don't green chop beans. You don't green chop
I
beans.
love this.
You
were-
know,
How
you were-
tall the
Okay.
man is?
Eh?
Talk to-
What makes you see how tall the man is? What do you mean he didn't eat?
He said,
That's why
Oh.
he did not like
he
beans.
said, listen,
He never liked
you
beans.
guys are the
It's
only
when he
thing.
grew up and he know that he needed to grow tall. He now started eating beans.
Mm.
You got to
Hmm.
growth. Where growth will start?
Oh. Let's take a comment. Just said that. I don't understand how great TikTok. Oh, never don't take your light.
Okay, don't come back.
Shana, did they
Me?
just
I don't know what's wrong with the light. It's just
just call it
fluctuating.
what it is. Don't overcompensate.
No be NEPA, oh, Jare. Anyway, it's a proof that if NEPA doesn't do like this, it will not show the world that I am in Nigeria.
I'm saying.
There you go.
Right
Just-
on, right on, right
I
on.
don't understand how great.
Minister
In case
Max,
in case you
Yeah.
just see blackout, at least
Don't
I have
worry.
my
Yes,
my
doctor.
ring light
Go
here.
ahead, doctor.
Minister Max, I want to say something. You know, you said that they raise children according to their personality.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It will be a mistake to be gentle all the time
Yeah.
with a child who has a tendency to defiance
Mm.
and disobedience. The same way, it would also be a mistake to be hard on a child with a sensitive, gentle spirit.
Okay. For those of you that don't understand 100% what doctor just said, right? In the DSM-5, we have something called ODD, oppositional defiant disorder.
Mhm.
A lot of children growing up in Nigeria that were stubborn. If you were in America, they would say you had ODD.
Mhm.
They would say you had ODD because
Ah.
you're stubborn. You don't want to hear what.
They were not-
You go to school, you jump in window. You know,
And it's normal thing. He's a normal child.
but that's why it's very
The parents just don't understand the personality and how to approach him.
yes,
That's just it.
exactly. Because even here in America, with a child with ODD, what you have to
They
do
don't-
there's actually
They use the word
there's
ODD
actually-
because they don't have the patience to just
there's no particular medication that you would administer to this child first. The first
There is
thing
no
you do-
medication. You just
First
have
thing
to
you need
use
to
the
do,
default setting methods.
family therapy, teaching the parents how to, handle the child and all that, which is what parents need to learn to do. Like handle your children based on their presentation, the way they are, separately as they present themselves. Now, so you can handle them.
Let me ask you a question.
Like doctor said something when she said her siblings were not the same exact way with her and her dad when they would be, I love you, I love you. No, people are different.
But you said something. You said something about that the way our parents treated us.
Mhm.
How did it go? It made most of us better. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's why I
Let
was
me
like,
come in if you're done.
it makes most of us better.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we cannot. Most of the time, like we're comparing it with the children here, the way they handle them, and they just allow them to do whatever they do. That's why you see a lot of them carrying gun and shoot people in the schools because they were not corrected in the home. At home, they didn't give them the opportunity to correct them at home because they allowed them to be calling 911. If their papa don't give them one kind 911 for his house,
Reset. They'll change it to 000. I mean, I don't know. When you want,
Let me come in.
you want to die because of that.
Let me come in. Let me come in with in line with what Sam Soft said, and I'll use myself as an example. My dad was a very, very strict guy. My dad just had two extremes. He was very strict but very jovial and lovely at the same time. Now, what happened was that strictness, and then again, it so happened that when my dad died, we were all very young. I was young, so when my dad died, I grew up with that people pleasing mentality. Not really people pleasing, but like wanting to say yes, sir to everyone, even on my right. So it took me time. At some time that I began to realize that, oh, some people were taking advantage, manipulating me, because oh, I seem to be a yes, sir girl. I now began to now look back at how strict my dad was. My dad was so goddamn strict that he could, I'm sure, if he had any disagreement or if it's not in alignment with, if let's say the president, my father would look at him in the face and say, "Go fuck yourself." Like he would just say no, and he would not think twice about. Sorry, mind my language. He won't mind the consequences. My dad was like, "This is how I feel. This is what I want to do, and this is it." He wouldn't think twice about consequences. So I began to now look back. So this is the area that I want to say. I agree with Sam Soft that this thing helps us. It has its own scarring method, which is normal, and I think that's where most parents are afraid of. They are afraid of the scarring part, but actually, the scarring part also is part of the process. So for me, I got scared because I lost my dad young. I didn't have a father figure for the growing years of my life. But then when I now grew up and I knew, oh, this is who I am, I began to go back to how he was being strict. He was jovial, but oh, he wasn't going to take it if anyone was trying to play on his intelligence. So I had to learn that. I had to think, in short, safe. Look at it. If I say no, I'm not gonna die. The person cannot even beat me. So I started taking that steps, and that kind of helped me to like build some resilience or to set some boundaries because when you're dealing with takers, especially narcissistic people or toxic people, they don't have boundaries. They want to just keep taking. They want to keep taking. So that part of me had to go back to who my father was.
Now
And
you
then I began
actually,
to imbibe it in me.
while you were talking, another topic popped up in my head. I try as much as possible not to mix topics when talking about things like this. But first of all, let's take this
They are
comment
all
from
connected.
Emeka. Let's take a comment from Emeka. Emeka says, I don't agree with that point. I think he was referring, I don't know if he was when I was talking. He said, I don't let my African guard down, even though I show affection. I know where I'm coming from, bro. Yes, that
Okay.
is very, very
Good
good.
job.
Very, very good. But for the fact that it's not happening to you, it's happening to some people, and I've seen it firsthand happen to some people. You go, bro, spend time on TikTok and you will hear everything going on.
True.
TikTok is like the streets of virtual real life
Mm-hmm.
where you see things and hear things happen. So while you were talking, I want to ask this question to everybody here right now, even those of you watching. Think about your parents back in the days, right? Think about your parents, your dad to be precise, and your uncles with definition of what you think or know that narcissism is now. Would you at any point think that at some point it's as if my father was a narcissist?
Where did that language, that English word come from?
No, let's think, and then at some point, the reason why I'm bringing this up, is this: going back to the streets of TikTok. Every male, African male, majority of the African male is being considered on as a narcissist. They call them narcissists
Yeah.
because of our firmness,
So
our
they're controlling.
assertiveness. Yeah, they say you are too controlling,
Controlling,
you
yeah.
are too this,
Yeah.
you are too that. Now, that is where I'm now battling the whole thing. For the fact that these are narcissistic tendencies, is that person actually a narcissist?
Um, I wouldn't, sorry, let me come in. This wokeness has put a lot of terms to things that shouldn't even have a term. You know, being disciplined has nothing to do with being narcissistic, if you'd ask me, because my understanding of a narcissist is someone who manipulates, who controls, who dominates and who oppresses. My own understanding. So if I look at the way my parents brought me up, I had to look at their reasons.
We're
My
going to look
parents were not just
at this.
being
Even the
narcissistic because they want to control me. Whatever they did for me or to me at that time was for my good, was what they thought was best. But a narcissist doesn't always think for what is best for his partner. They just want to control, they want to oppose. Yeah, my parents at some time wanted to control me, but they wanted to control me because they didn't want me to fall prey
guy
or to
dropping
be a
knife.
victim.
Yeah.
My dad being overprotective was because they don't want me to experience some certain things that maybe they had experienced at their when they were my age. So I wouldn't want to see it from that point of view. Again, we might say, okay, they might be dealing with issues that might have made them react like that. But I always look at what was the reason. So I don't think my parents were narcissistic to me in any way.
Okay. So, doctor, is there anything you want to add to that? Of course, the doctor.
I already saw
Of
doctor
course.
when he did
That
like this.
I didn't do this.
you,
So
you have changed it now. You have changed it.
No, she changed it. She did a different style.
so here's the thing. Just like my sister said, in this era that we live in, we tend to attach meanings to words
Yep.
that truly do not belong there.
Yeah.
Correct.
My psych people have a rather narrow definition of who a
Mhm.
narcissist is.
That's what I'm looking for from DSM-5 book.
Very good. And it does not involve. See, a narcissist has an inherent sense of overgrown self importance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Over
Their
for the other,
underlying
yes.
issue.
Allegedly, just leave an attempt.
I am fundamentally better than you, and therefore you
Mm,
exist.
Your
My
man.
pleasure. You exist to make me
mm,
happy.
mm.
The typical African parent, even the strictest,
Yeah.
by definition, they don't fall into that category.
At
Yep.
all.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but here we are attaching a word that has very narrow definition of what it is to, oh, they were very controlling. Are they controlling parents? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what most people are probably describing are personality types, particularly a choleric melancholic. They are the
Mm-hmm.
ones that have that behavior that fits a lot of African fathers.
Mm,
The
Mm.
choleric melancholic. It is the choleric that has zero interest in mushiness.
yeah.
It
Mm.
bothers them. It
Yeah.
disgusts them. Tears and all those kind of things bother them. So what you're
I'm
probably
choleric.
describing are
Yeah.
I think
melancholic
I'm choleric.
cholerics. Yes, those people.
Yeah.
But not, narcissism is a personality disorder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is.
Oh, no,
That's,
I do
that's,
not
a,
believe
It is.
that
that's a mental issue.
typical African parent is like or was like that. I think they were just some people, even at the extreme, some were just extremely choleric and melancholic.
Yeah.
Together, that personality blend particularly can be very unpleasant when it is annoyed.
Yeah.
Very
Mm.
unpleasant.
So let's drive this back home now. Let's bring this back home. At the doorbell. I'm a boy.
That's here.
I'm a boy. What?
That time my boy has been helping you, so
I
please.
I
know.
know, but today now I'm able.
Yeah. So let's drive this back home. What would your advice be for people who have never said "I love you" to their parents, and
Parents.
they now have children? How do you think they can balance it up? How do you think they can balance this up and make sure that it doesn't affect them?
Okay. I don't know if I can go first.
Go ahead,
So
please.
like I said earlier, all of us there's a point that in your growing you come to a point of knowing. There's this point that you will know that, oh, you know certain things about key areas of your life. You know that, oh, concerning my academic, I'm not really making it, I have to improve. You will know that, okay, concerning my finances, I'm not making it, I have to improve. The same with your emotion. You will get to that point that you know that, oh, something ain't right, I'm missing something. And when you get to that point, your mind will be open to learn new things because the world around you is not static. The world around you is moving, it's improving, it's changing, it's growing. And we are exposed to these changes. And because we are intelligent, we human beings, we're very intelligent. You will definitely pick areas that oh, this is what I should like. Like Meg said, that you have to know that, oh, I have to unlearn some things to relearn. So there's definitely that point that you know, oh, this thing that happened to me, I shouldn't repeat it in the life of my children. I should learn to have a balance. That, oh, I didn't show love, that I should begin to do it, or begin to accept the idea of being loved or expressed love to.
Okay. Awesome. Minister Max, did you want to say something or can I go
Yeah,
ahead?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, moving on from where my sister stopped. Absolutely. I feel as though a lot of people, one of the things we're missing is positive examples.
Hmm.
It's super easy to point out negative examples because bad news
Yeah.
sells, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. But to be able to identify, for you to know that you have a problem, one is look at your own interpersonal relationships,
Yeah.
Hmm.
particularly romantic relationships. See,
Hmm.
because the things we learn as children, we're social creatures and we tend to repeat familial
Yep.
social patterns. Look
Hmm.
at your relationships. Look at the kind of people you attract to yourself.
Yeah.
Look at your best friends. Look at the people you hang out with. What kind of people do you
Yeah.
attract to yourself? All of that should give you some kind of knowledge of what you are projecting to the world, A, and B, what
Hmm.
you're attracting to yourself.
Hmm.
Yes.
Because without that knowledge, you will not know what it is I'm correcting for. Say I had an overbearing father and an overbearing mother, and I just could not think for myself. I get used to the idea that my ideas don't matter. Is it
Hmm.
a wonder, therefore, if I grow up and I attract abusive men?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Because that's the normal. That's like,
That's
oh,
it.
I
True.
should always just be a little mouse
Yeah.
where other human beings are concerned.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But when I now grow up, like my sister said, you come to realize, okay, something is not right.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people often ask me, Dr. T, you're a Christian. Why do you ask people to go to therapy? I say because a lot of us, our minds are not developed to the point
Motion detected at the
where
doorbell.
we can decipher for ourselves
Hmm.
what is the balance, what
Hmm.
is the normal, what is the real normal. Because for us, a lot of us, our norm is just norm for us.
Hmm.
A person who grows up in a dysfunctional home
Yeah.
grows up thinking that dysfunction is
It's
normal.
normal.
It's this thing. Yes.
But when they go
Standard.
to a therapist and the person enables them to see, actually, no, you should not be used to people slamming you against the door. It's not
Hmm.
normal behavior.
Yes.
And then they begin to see, okay, oh, this is the norm. This is where I am. And then you begin to acquire tools. You read
Yeah.
books, you
Hmm.
attend programs, you go to therapy. They hand you tools where you begin
Motion
to now
detected at the
slowly
doorbell.
begin to straighten out that which is crooked.
Hmm.
Now you are able to now help a child who you bring into the world because now you have a fair idea what normal
Hmm.
is and you can begin to move forward from there. But without
Yeah.
that, I don't want us to just keep repeating patterns. Oh, my
Yeah.
parents were overly strict, therefore I will have no strict.
Hmm.
My parents did not show me love, therefore I would allow my child to say any and everything to me
Hmm.
because my parents didn't let me express myself. Oh, this child must express itself to the nth degree. And
Hmm.
so you go from trying to avoid one problem to creating another problem. There's a middle ground. The middle ground is find out what is normal, find out what is healthy,
Hmm.
find out what is wholesome, and then strive towards that.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Doc.
you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Doc.
Thank you, Sam.
You know, one thing I understand with this topic is that the reason why we are even talking about this is because we're in an environment that opened our eyes to understand these things.
True.
So, if you have um, a mind of learning, your environment should be able to you should be able to learn something and something that you know that is going to benefit your children or benefit you, because if it benefits you it benefits the people that is living with you. So we are learning from the past, the mistakes from the past, and then the profits from the past. And then when we come to the now, the present, the environment that we live should be able to, like, we should be able to learn from it, like how the good stuff that we are learning from the environment. Because some people keep hearing what I keep hearing was like, uh, the things that the life we lived in the past is affecting the way we are today.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there are some ways that I used to be, there's some behavior I used to have back then when I was in Africa. I don't even have that kind of behavior anymore.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll be thinking, why I don't behave like that anymore?
Yeah,
Because
your Gary drinking behavior.
as it drink, as it is smoke, the guy, but I don't change smoke because Gary, you get as they do person eye. Gary switch shower. Hi,
Continue.
Gary,
If
Continue.
I can pop something, if I can pop
Oh, you
something
cannot
there.
pop anything. You cannot pop
I,
anything.
Don't pop
You have been popping. Everybody want to talk. You want to pop.
sure.
Pop now.
Exactly. Let us do like our parents used to do us.
Pop something.
Look at them. Really?
you know, so as you know, I
Something
mentioned
popping.
Yes,
something.
we pop it.
Everybody wants
I
to
don't
talk.
I
You want
want
to
to
pop.
mentioned.
pop it.
You never finish.
Okay, I should mention. Okay, so I was saying
It's
that
still popping.
Yes.
I'm not getting you. I
Wait,
should
Let
what?
now we
Samson.
don't want me you pop. We are
You
still
don't want me to pop? Why?
Now, let Samson finish.
Oh, I thought he was done. Okay, finish up. Please
Ah,
pardon me. I didn't know he wasn't done.
we don't agree.
yeah.
This time we don't agree.
I cannot agree.
Whatever happened to
Doctor, you
ladies
see,
first?
come you.
Now let me
What?
bring woke
You say
feminism into it.
what happened to
Let
ladies
me
first?
bring wokeness into
You
it.
say what happened to
I am
ladies
a
first?
feminist. You have
I
to
wish,
allow me to talk,
I
please.
wish and pray
Anyway,
you're going
after
to be
you.
here for our topic on the 22nd of
Come
this month.
again. Come
I
again.
wish you'll be here for our topic on the
You get,
22nd of this month. We'll talk about
Okay.
that when Samson and I
All
finish.
right.
Samson,
Okay,
go
no
you
ahead.
get
problem.
like this. We they look
So
you.
they look at you.
We there's only for you.
The moment doctor, you said
He
the doctor
doesn't
just shake
doctor.
her head. You go and turn the way.
No, you have to know that I am not for it. So I was just teasing.
You
I'm
see my
not for that at all.
so
Nowhere to cut.
they'll come and flat.
Gentlemen.
Max, Max, you guys.
I told you we're going to
We
do
don't-
that. We'll do
well,
it to you on the show.
you
Oh
know,
God, you guys are something else. Okay.
exclusively, I want to say that we need to learn the good things in life. Like when our environment should be able to affect us, and not
Yeah.
just continue the old life. Like somebody say, oh, you bring when the Bible says, oh, things shall pass away. The
Mm,
things that are good, you take. The things that are not good, you drop.
mm.
Okay, thank you. So you want to chime in and say something real quick before I talk?
Yeah. I wanted
One.
to say something about taking the. I mentioned earlier that we everybody is responsible for their healing. Because this is the process that one knows that, oh, I'm lacking something. So, like doctor said earlier, you have to make that effort. If not, it's just going to be a vicious circle.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, for me, this is what I want to say. I don't want to repeat everything everybody has said, but this is what I would say, right? So help us God.
That's what you just said.
So
It's a brief one.
we have to realize that trauma is real.
Mm,
Trauma is real. And whether you want to believe it or not, our parents, most of our parents were traumatized.
sure.
They were. Most of us, as children of our traumatized parents, have been traumatized. What is that called? Generational trauma. Passed down from one level to the next. Because, like I said earlier on, you can't give what you don't have. If you do not have that particular thing, there's no way you can offer it. You will give what you have. Let me give you this perfect example. I remember growing up, my dad, when we were watching movies with my dad, when they reach place where they want to kiss, they will fast forward.
Yours was even that. They'll tell us to look away. Tell us, close your eyes.
Oh,
Fast
we
forward.
the fast forward.
Now,
You
I
still see it
grew up,
now.
I grew up and I was with my then girlfriend, now my wife, and we're watching a movie and they reach a place where they want to kiss. I fast forward.
She go to look his
You know they look me.
I can't believe it.
No, really,
Are you
No,
kidding
it's
me?
possible.
really. That's because of the
Comes an habit.
conditioning of the mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The brain is very complex. The brain takes in a lot, and from some little habits there and there, it becomes a character. It becomes
Mhm.
part of who you are. And even though you want to talk a big game and say, oh, I can never do this to my children, I can never do that to my children. one day you just find out that you just lost it and you just did something. And
Mm-hmm.
you ask
Sure.
yourself, how come? That's because something happened in your past that you're yet to deal with.
Mm. Mm.
Yes.
So I support doctor, and I'm a psych person. That's what I do for a living.
Okay, no wonder you did like Chris.
Yeah, I do. You know, you have to deal with you have to deal with issues from your past.
Yes.
You can never, all things are passing away, all things are passing away. It will shock you that they will just show face one day. Yeah,
Hmm. They replay, they resurface.
you have to deal with it. You have to.
Okay.
That is what your therapist will do for you. Um CBT is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Where they dig in and figure out what that thing is, and then replace those thoughts with, okay, how can you do this better? How can we, help you with this and that? That's what it's all about.
So you don't allow your past to dictate your future.
It's easy to say,
Say, easier said than done.
easier said than done, because you are a product of your past. I'm sorry.
And how did the past
Mm-hmm.
affect you if the present cannot affect you?
Present can affect you.
The past can affect you. How did the past affect you? And you cannot allow the present to overcome it.
Affect the future.
Okay.
Mm.
Inside.
Because
Can I answer Samson's question?
Go
Mhm.
ahead.
You said, if I understand you correct, how is it that the past can affect you, but you are not allowing the present to overcome it? Right?
Yes, correct.
Here's the issue. A human being is like cement, like concrete. When you're growing up, is when you're adding the ingredients. But in the growth process, what happens to wet cement? It dries up and it
Mm-hmm.
becomes hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the present now comes along like a soft, gentle breeze. It's not going to do any. You need a wrecking ball
Bim, bim,
to
bim.
undo. That's why in the Old Testament, I believe in Isaiah, that when the Lord says that my word is like a hammer, breaking down every hard place,
Mm.
you need a wrecking ball to break down this stuff, this wrong ideas. Matter of fact, 2 Corinthians 10:4, we wrestle not against
Flesh
flesh
and
and
blood.
blood, against principalities and powers, against rulers in high places. But
Mm.
guess what? In verse 5, against every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. People think those strongholds are like, some very ugly people somewhere in some village somewhere. No,
It's in the mind.
we don't understand our modern day. We don't
Yeah.
understand castles. Castles were fortified buildings that made it hard to invade.
Mm-hmm.
When you nurse a wrong idea for long enough,
Hmm.
it builds itself into a fortress in your mind.
Oh
You
yeah.
have a domineering, abusive father, and you begin to I get ideas in your head. I am not worthy of love. My ideas do not matter. That can become a stronghold,
Yes.
such that you now grow up going about in life. My ideas do not matter. And then
Mm-hmm.
you end up with somebody who wishes to abuse you
Mm.
because that stronghold is there. But when you now go, say you visit a therapist with the word of God and you pray, what you're doing is you need to first destroy that stronghold.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
present is like that gentle summer breeze. It's just blowing. It will
Just
blow
blowing a hole
dust
in cement.
off the
When you
statue,
finish, I
blow
will.
dust here.
Yeah.
But the fundamental core of that cement
Has not been dealt with yet.
needs to be broken down. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say is this. In
Mhm.
point is that the fact that is the time that make that affect the man, because time builds faith. The time of that abuse or that trauma makes it so strong, becomes like the cement, and it's
Mhm.
strong because you have been living with that trouble for a long period of time. So that's why I agree with you that because of that long period of time, you stay with it and you carry it along with you because it's a long period of time, it sticks to you. So I'm saying that now, why not stop it in a way that you allow? What I mean is that that's where the therapy comes in,
Yeah.
or the
The
people
healing process now,
healing
where
process
you
comes
will
in.
learn,
What I'm
unlearn, to
saying is
relearn.
that give yourself open another what do you call it, chapter of your life by moving towards the people that will not abuse you, that gives you hope. You stick with these people for a long period of time. It's not going to be overnight because it's a long period of time you got those abuse. So it's not going to work. Even if you go and see a therapy, you cannot see a therapy for how many years you are abused? Maybe 25 years. Your therapy is going to be how many hours for therapy? 3, 4, 5 weeks or something. It cannot cure that problem. So the problem is a long process. You accrued it. So you need a long process to fix that problem.
Nope.
Not necessarily.
Nope. No
Yeah,
way.
not
Not
necessarily a long
necessarily.
process.
No. Let me give you a perfect example. Right? You have a patient, and the patient is cutting themselves, right? Cutting their hand, like cutting into their skin, trying to like bleed out and all that. And they're telling the patient, "Why are you doing this? Oh, I just can't stop it. I just can't help it."
But that's
I'm
mental.
just Everything is mental. That's the point. Everything is mental. Everything is in the brain. Everything is mental. It's
And it's
easier.
spiritual too.
It's easier. Majority of the spiritual things is mental. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I love
Majority
Yeah.
of the
psychology.
spiritual thing is
You don't
mental.
need to be sorry for it. That's the truth. No
That,
need to
that,
be sorry. That's the
a lot
truth.
of us hide under spirituality when actually the fact is in the brain, and that is what it is. You
Yeah.
see people that have gone through trauma,
Mhm.
and it's easier for us to just cover it under God, under religion, and say just fast and pray.
No.
God will do
I
it.
didn't ask you to fast and pray.
Hold on, no, you didn't say. It's
Mhm.
easier for people to say just fast and pray. God
Fast
will
and
heal
pray,
you.
you're just going to
It's
be hungry
easier.
for
It's
nothing.
easier for people to offer advice and say, "Oh, just do
It's easier
this."
for people to even say that. Now, village people, they do you.
There you
Mm.
go. So in all these things, to be honest,
But the,
hold on.
but the
There is,
therapy,
excuse me, sir. Excuse
even
me, sir.
that therapy,
There
will
is
it
some
heal that
part,
problem?
yes, there is a high chance that it's
Wow.
going to help you walk through that problem. There's a part of our brain that controls memory,
Mhm.
right?
So the therapy is going to remove the memory.
No, it's not going to
How is going
remove.
to, I see
That
or
is
is
what
she you're going to
that
do
is
it?
what conditioning is. That is what CBT will do for you.
Mhm.
And if
Agreed.
CBT doesn't work, there's the
I
next
think
level.
that's why I believe time also helps too.
With
Oh no.
time, yes, with time, with
Mhm.
the proper help.
Yeah, with the
It's
time
not that
though.
you would just sit down and say, okay, I was traumatized in my past. Let me work
That's
on
why
it.
no. That's why I
Let me
say you
work on
go
it with
seek you
time.
seek the help, but it's still going to be with time. You seek the it's not magical.
It's not just
It's not
seeking
going to
help.
change
It's not just
automatically.
seeking help. It's
You
all
have to
about
accept it
you
too.
have to be ready
And that is what
to
I'm looking for.
walk. You have to be ready
Uh-huh.
to walk on it.
There you go.
You have
That's
to
the
be
word.
ready. You have to be ready to
Yeah.
face
Be ready.
your trauma at some point.
To face your demons,
And
yeah,
then be
and
ready
work them.
to forget the past too, right?
Yeah, not forget, because you can never forget.
Yeah, I mean, ready to give it up.
Yeah, to forgive the past.
Yes.
So all these things add up.
Man's decision.
All these things add up, right? As I was saying earlier on, trauma is what majority of the people have been through. If I call a lot of people to add them on this show right now, they will
Mhm.
tell you about their experiences from trauma in the past. For me,
Mhm.
I in particular, I too used mine as a positive thing.
Yep.
That's me. Because I tell you, they flog me well,
Again, don't
well,
Mm.
well,
celebrate.
well,
Gosh
then flog me
talking.
well, well. And I was stubborn,
Mhm.
and then flog me.
You're stubborn immediately.
But guess what? Guess
The
what?
K was the 911.
Guess what? What my stubbornness and the flogging taught me in life,
It's amazing.
I can never forget. I always tell everybody, if it takes you 1 month to achieve something, it will take me just 1 week, because that is what my upbringing taught me.
Mm.
Mhm.
My dad, even though he's strict and all that, he put that in us. In fact, I'm going to go around and ask everybody to just say one positive thing that they learned from their parents. Let's just
But you know,
add
say
that.
not be
Let's
everybody
just
that
end
flop, that
end in that
people.
positive note. No, not everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Let's end with a positive note. What is that one thing that your parents taught you that you know that you can never forget in
That
life
helped
that has
you.
helped you? So who wants to go first? Please, in the comment section, I see all your comments. The lifestyle clinic, I see you. I see you all. She says, trauma doesn't understand English language. It's
Yes,
hard,
so
it's hard work and
Yes.
well intended process. Yes, I agree
Agreed.
with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
agreed.
She also says that just have a healing goal and a clear plan that works.
That works.
Okay.
True.
She also says time doesn't heal anything.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's how you go about it and what you do
Yep.
that matters.
Yes.
So let's go one after the other and list that one thing that you know that your parents did for you that helped you, that you will pass on to your child or your children? Who wants to go first? Oh, let's go. No mind that she where they always say let me choke it, let me
That's why I decided to wait.
Can you imagine? You can never please people. When you talk, they complain. Now you're quiet, they still complain. What shall
pop this one.
Okay, for me, I would say standing up for yourself. My dad would always stand up for us. He would always stand up for my mom and for himself. So that was one thing I learned. No matter how wrong, even if he beats us, he will come and say, "See, I didn't like this was the reason why I beat you, and you had to know that this is why I beat you." So it didn't change the fact, even though I felt he was strict, but it didn't change that mentality that, oh, my dad was actually standing up for me.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. For me, two or three things. One was the fact that my father taught me that there was nothing I could not do.
Mm.
I put my mind to it. There was nothing. He totally believed that I had the mental capacity to do anything that I wanted to do, to be anything that I wanted to be. That I learned from him. Secondly, the why. You know what you just said now, that when your dad punished you, he'll tell you why?
Mm,
My father never punished us without telling us why.
Yeah.
mm,
Such that I came to dislike arbitrariness, just an arbitrary exercise of power without
mm,
explaining what is going. Totally dislike it. That I learned from him. From my mom, I learned that when you love someone, you give them everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
She went all out, and from her I learned that, and I am forever grateful.
Thank you.
For
wow.
me, I don't have one particular thing. I have so many things that I learned from my father.
Before you talk about one, after you've talked about it so many, let me just take this comment real quick. Why you're
Okay.
asking one? Okay, so because this is my brother, this is my big brother here. Huh? So the lifestyle clinic says my dad taught me to be confident and take over.
Come on,
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
nice.
mm.
Your father and my father, were they related?
Your father and my father.
Because I
Were
want
they
to talk about the
related?
confidence. My dad taught me to be confident too,
Right.
like it. And also, it taught me to emulate um, anything good by being kind to people. It was, and I also learned from him how he helped a lot of people and the way he lives in the society. And I see how people come, they know him so much because of his giving personality and caring personality. So I learned so much from him on that aspect. So everybody always, you are a son of Akim. Your father did this for me. So I got that from him. I learned
You didn't do anything for me, oh, Mr. Samson. So you better start being kind to me so that I remember you.
I not trust you. You're not going to remove
Man,
your
you go,
hair.
come on.
That simply means you should do good to her before you grow gray hair. It was gray hair.
No,
Yeah.
because,
Hmm.
because my
Yes,
father,
now so that I'll remember you.
my
I'll
father,
also refer you to others.
number four.
You said? You said what?
He would have made me
Uh-uh.
number four.
I didn't get that, sorry.
You don't
Don't
get
worry,
it? You forget about it.
Y'all are just wrong. Y'all
Don't
are just
worry.
really wrong.
Samson, me, man. Don't worry. I know where I'll catch you. I know where I will catch you.
Get him,
Don't
sis.
worry.
Okay. Let me say my own. Let me say my own. First, I want to start with my mom, right? My mom taught me particularly that there's nothing wrong with me. Nothing. Don't let anybody put you down.
Yeah.
Don't. There's this teacher, very wicked teacher. I think I don't know if she's still alive. HIPAA does not cover her, so I can talk about her.
Oh, wait.
Very wicked. This is Chima.
Hey,
You
wait.
remember her name?
Why am I not going to remember her name?
You really wicked.
Those of you that
Those
know
kind
me,
of people, you can't forget their names.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the name?
they told me I should go and call my parents.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
And anytime they see me, go call your parents and you're good.
What did you do, Minister?
Good question.
Abi,
Thank you. Thank you,
that's
doctor.
what I wanted to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First time. I just finished. As kids now, you watch Robocop,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mhm.
then you're walking like Robocop,
Mhm.
walking like trying to because you like the movie.
So you
You're
start
walking
doing
like,
like that in the class.
see when I'm going to start telling my mother, oh, Emeka is proud. He's proud. He's very proud. See how he's walking. I'm not a wonder. I'm not
Are
a
you
wonder.
kidding me?
I'm telling you. I'm
Some
a
teachers
wonder.
get problem.
Yeah, Miss Chima. Those of you that know, you know what I'm talking about. But, but in all of it, my dad taught me to always stand out.
Mm, mm,
Always stand out. Always be the best version of anybody in any room.
mm.
Be the best version of yourself. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's you that would make yourself happy. If your happiness
True.
is dependent on other people,
Mm.
then I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed at some point. You will be, you know.
Mm.
And just like Doctor and my sister said, when my father flogged me, where? I always stress that flogging, but I remember it very well.
But I flog you.
He flogged me well. And then two of them will come tag team.
You must be really.
Mm-hmm.
And Papa
Mm-hmm.
will be biting me.
You must be a very, very bad boy. Sure.
I was a stubborn kid. That was a fact. You know? But then we tag team together. You know, and then my mama go on come soften out. She want tap out.
Mm.
Leave him. I said, leave you. Don't leave me. Oh. It's you. You that's not Don't leave me.
You're part of it.
Don't leave me. You know.
Oh
But,
God.
but I'm proud to talk about that today and laugh about it because I intentionally made it what I would learn from and make
Yeah.
it a positive experience
Mm.
in
Yeah.
what made me who I am today.
Mm.
I had friends that their parents never did anything to them, let them do whatever they wanted to do. And today,
Mm.
when you see them, you're like, damn, your parents no try. Your parents did not
It's
try at
true.
all. Because they you can see the difference.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not encouraging abuse. No,
No.
not in any way. But
Not
know your
this
child,
show
know
don't.
your children, know your
Mhm.
children, know the level of discipline per child that you have,
Correct.
because that is what would help to guide them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned to always, you know, do my best at everything I do. There is no wall that you will put for me that I cannot break.
Mm-hmm.
If you want back me against the corner, we'll find hole through that corner where you put me.
Mm.
Leave it. You know. So at this point, this is the end of the topic for today. End of the topic for today. You guys have done justice to this topic. Let's take some comments. Oh,
You don't think of it when the baby's in love.
okay. Let's take this comment from Lifestyle Clinic. She said that thought that would come here. We've taken that. She also says, "What did you do?" She was asking doctor.
Exactly. Exactly.
I support your teacher already.
Ah.
you don't make me put you in front. Oh. Don't make me put you in
Avio.
front. Okay, then Timothy is in the house. He says, good one next.
Good one, man. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yes, thank you very much, guys. Before we go, we want to talk about a special session that we will be having on the 22nd of this month, right? Initially, we had a guy called Dan.
Damn.
He
Oh,
visited us. He was here.
fantastic guy.
He's a great TikToker. He has a show, and he's an advocate for men.
Mm-hmm.
And his show
Whoa, I love that.
men
That's really
men
interesting.
needs to be heard.
Yes.
That's the
Mm.
that's the show. Men needs to be heard.
Mm.
So we're gonna be talking about a very, very interesting topic. And that topic is so interesting that I think it's gonna break a lot of tables.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm very, very
Doctor,
afraid.
fasten your seatbelt.
Yes.
Mm.
I hope I was actually gonna ask Doctor if she's gonna be on the show that day because
See, doctor.
Doctor
He's a
Doctor
big-
like
put
Doctor Doctor like to avoid controversy
And
as
they tell you,
much
look at him.
as much as she
See, doctor.
fine doctor.
He don't carry out.
She likes to avoid controversy as much as she can. So
I think she will like this topic.
yeah, I think Doctor would like the topic too. But let's see. Give me a second.
Okay.
This is the topic.
First
Mm.
accusations and divorce. Yeah, she will like.
How men can
Wow.
protect themselves from false claim,
Mm.
false accusation
Wow.
and divorce. How men protect themselves. How can men protect themselves from false claim?
Yeah.
So the reason why this topic is very important
Hmm.
is because of the rise of craziness happening these days.
Men have become endangered species now.
Thank you, my sister. I've become endangered species. They had to find us now.
You remember? Yes.
I'm
I like
telling you, because you're looking at one, they will say she, them, he, she, her,
On
he,
what planet
them.
are these men endangered? I'm
this
just
one. This planet.
Doctor, this one, oh,
This
whether you
planet.
agree or not. Oh. Men watching, are you in danger or not? Are you an endangered species or not?
You know, see that story. That's this one. This would be good for that story. They bring that story of that. Is it a basketballer that was trying to marry and call off the marriage because she refused to sign
Prenup.
prenup?
Yeah. Well, so to this particular topic, we're going to be talking about things like
That too.
you know, there are times when all a woman just needs to do is go to the police station and say just 5 words. I don't feel safe with him.
Hmm.
He's done.
And they will come, take him out of the house. And the moment they take him out of the house temporarily, a divorce is being filed. And because he's not in the house,
Just begin to move.
I just don't want to go into the topic right now.
Yeah.
It's a
You,
very,
you know,
very
you just jumped over several steps, right? But keep going.
yes. So, Doc, there's nothing to keep going about.
No, Doc, we want you on that. We want
There's
you on that
nothing to
show.
do. Yes,
Because Minister Max is you've hopped on over a lot of lily pads.
I
but
know.
It's okay.
I know. I just try to give you the brief,
Like a browse
Yeah.
through.
So please, we would like you guys to be on the show.
Yes.
Please. That's gonna be nice if you can. It's on the 22nd of this month, and it's gonna be fun. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Doctor, remember your friend now.
Which one of them? The prof? Or which one?
Toy. You forgotten Toy?
Abiola.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the one
she's-
from Texas.
You've been on the show together, both of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think she had on a yellow t-shirt. I
Yes,
remember.
the yellow
Yeah.
t-shirt that day. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you remember her? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. She's gonna be on it too.
Nice.
Yes. So please, let's try to be there. Jesse Chop says, my dad made me to understand that I have the mind to stand any challenges, no matter how hard it is. Yeah. So you guys can see now that despite the lack of verbal
Mm-hmm.
and physical affection like you wanted, there's still
Something we gained
something
from it.
that we gained from it. They did not open their mouth to say I love you, but they showed you in so many other ways that they loved you. So let's give our parents a hug if you're close to your parents. But you know, get any me. Oh, not be that one.
Oh God, you guys.
So what the
Not be that more. That's not like water. Don't get any me.
I know.
Yes. But it's okay.
Fashek.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you very
God,
much.
no.
See you all next week. God bless.
Thank you.